everybody, and welcome to Free Wheel Station. And we're going to start with a shuttle arriving. Like we see the exterior of the station, and we're seeing a bit of traffic coming and going. There's only a couple of docking ports, so and they're both kind of like sort of you like one of them. We see a ship pull away from one of them, and the new ship that we're following in kind of like dock, and we do a jump cut directly over to Crenville, who's sort of standing in like the hallway outside of the docking port, just kind of waiting there in sort of the area by it. And he's, um, you know, Ninvis has got his electronic data pad in hand, just smiling, ready to, start greeting people on board. And the door to the door to the airlock opens, and we start seeing, we see a few people like kind of come out, like they're all dressed in like sort of like business suits. Um, and they sort of like make it form like sort of like they all kind of come out and sort of like form like a detail. Um, and then we see come out next, um, we see Isig step out, and Isig,
Oh shit.
steps out, and he kind of looks around, smiles, and he looks over, he says, Crenville. He goes, it's good to see you. And his suit is very immaculate. Like he's like, whereas Crenville always wears his tie a little loose and his cuffs maybe aren't done up right. He kind of a little less put together. Crenville looks every bit the professional, and he kind of looks around and he says,
I think
I understand our sister is here." Crenville's like, "Unfortunately, I'll have to have a word with her later. But in the meantime, I've brought you something you've been waiting for a while. It'll take a little bit off of your plate." And he kind of gestures back to the airlock. And go ahead and describe will our new arrivals go ahead and describe themselves? AL, Milliceps, whichever one of you wants to go first.
So
Describe what
AL
you're, yeah,
has like a little bit longer than shoulder length blue hair. Wears a jacket that's really long, like a trench coat basically. That's blue with a hood. And essentially, right now it's open and you can see the armor underneath it. And it's got red eyes, and you can see uh, this character's figure who's like kind of androgynous walk out and with a cane basically. Um, and that's pretty much what my character looks like.
right. Milliceps, describe what your character looks like here.
Sure. Milliceps here is an Intu colony that is primarily made of mushrooms. Uh, on his head, rather than hair, he has a puffed up kind of mushroom, a couple of little stems and leaves that drop down from what you would assume to be his nose. And he's just dressed in, a casual business suit as he walks out of there.
So this is Prinville. This is AL and Milliceps. They're your new management for the casino. Is and Crenville looks at it and looks at the two of you, and uh, looking at him, Isaac and Crenville both have like sort of this blue, darker, bruised bluish tint to their skin. Like they're clearly from some similar lineage. Um, but whereas Crenville's hair is generally slicked back, and when he does wear it long, it's in a ponytail, or you know the it Crenville looks like he's less comfortable in the suit, or maybe more too comfortable, but in the sense that he doesn't wear it particularly. Like he seems a bit disheveled, but he wears his hair a bit longer and a little less kempt. Um, and he looks like he'd be much more comfortable out in the field than, sort of managing people. Um, and you both know, like who you're working for here. This is the Grimbuckle Syndicate. They're one of the biggest, criminal syndicates ever to come out of the Tabori cluster. And Isig and to some lesser extent his brother are pretty big deals in this. So when they offered you managerial position to a casino, it's a little bit hard to say no, even if it does seem to be on the ass end of nowhere. This is your first time in the Drage system. And Crinville kind of walks over and he extends a hand. He extends a hand, look, he's like, I'm Crinville. You'll be reporting directly to me as I am the underboss, as it were, on this station, for this particular station. Says says but I'll try to stay out of your way as much as possible. Do either of you reach to shake his hand?
I turn to Millsips and I'm like, Master Millsips,
Yeah.
Master. Well, I've worked with Kringville before. It was before you acquired me, and I gotta say, he's kind of a stick in the mud. And I say it loud enough for him to hear.
He just kind of he kind of gives you a wry smile and shakes his head at that. He's like, only in so much as the job entails.
I'm sure it'll be a pleasure working for you, boss. And I'll reach up and shake his hand.
All right, yeah. So he's like, well, with that said, our our uh, our landlords retained naming rights to the place. What'd you guys name it? The Besmera's Smile or something?
Besmir's Den, I believe. I'd have to get
Besmera's
up and look.
Den. Yeah. So they
I'm
named it
90%
for
sure.
yeah. So they named it for the goddess of piracy. Um, uh, to some extent, he's like,
I
I'll
can
show
definitely
you.
appreciate that.
Yeah, he's like,
Oh, wait till you get inside. I'm a bad person.
Now,
uh,
I forwarded a list, Kringville, of arrangements that Millsips expects to be, you know, here. I'm sure you received it, right?
some of it was possible, some of it is, well, this is a frontier and we are just starting off. So you might have to be patient on a few things. Says, you're going to be expected to, he says, and he kind of gestures for you. Is like, and Isig, for the most part, sort of look, he kind of gestures for you guys to follow him. And Isig, for his part, looks over at Crinville and says, I'm going to go find our landlords, our friends here, and possibly our sister. Some business propositions, and I hear there's the gemfish and this paper leaf. I'd like to make a few connections while I'm on board. You've got this handled, right? And Crenville just kind of looks at him, rolls his eyes, like, that's what I'm here for. And Isig and his detail break off to go break off and head towards a different direction. He's like, you'll find that operations are ready to commence as soon as you're ready to give it your final stamp of approval on your everything set up to your accordance. There's a crew in place. The staff is trained. There are a few issues with overpouring with a couple of them, so you'll have to watch the inventory.
It wasn't
Um,
over pouring, it was over garnishing.
no, no, no. The there was a yeah, there was some over garnishing, wasn't there? It's like, and you'll have to watch the garnishing. There's a few of them that are rather new at this sort of thing. The pit boss is pretty much well recommended. Shouldn't have any problems there. The dealers, they know their stuff. They're not the best money could buy, but they know what they're doing. And it's like, and he kind of like as you're walking, like there is part of this that's like very um it looks like there's a bit of low rent to it still. It looks like a work in progress. Like you see a bit of like, okay, you see some graffiti being covered up. Like something about there's like 9 and then LE at like that's all that's left of that is left visible as like a work crew is painting over is like sort of like getting rid of the scraping off the paint, lasering it off or whatever it is they do. And he's like, there's still some stuff to be done. Security issues are a bit of a up in the air. We'll have to deal with our own security in-house. Um, he says, I will eventually take you to meet our landlords, the administration for the station, Lichton Incorporated. You'll be needing to make arrangements for inventory to be replenished, trade for that. You'll be expected to deal with all staff issues, internal security issues, have various errata that evolves around the club. And he kind of gets to you. You get there and you see the casino, and it looks nice. Like there's a bright neon sign hanging out front, and it's got like there's it's roped off with like velvet rope in front of like the entrance because it's not open yet, which of course Crenville basically just moves aside for you guys to get in and puts it back when he's done. He's like, and he says he says before he pauses before opening the door, he says, are you ready to take on the responsibilities here?
Yeah, we can make it work.
He's like, he says, good. And he kind of opens the door and looking inside, it looks very good. Like there's various gambling machines, there's tables for all kinds of different games of chance. There's a special corner for cannons of black holes, which many space pirates love to play. Um, you know, and the bars are set up and like the staff is already standing there in position. And Crinville is like, I figured it would be worthwhile to have them already here and in position for you to inspect where they're at, what everything is, offer any final words of encouragement, any final meetings you may have that you may wish to have. But before you get to all of that, I'll show you your office.
Wait,
Um,
wait, 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 wait. You mentioned nothing about the giant golden statue of Besmira that's a fountain that has
yes,
a gun in one hand and a money bag in the other. Thank you very much.
it's more like gold plated. It's not
No, it's
gold
not
gold. But
solid.
yeah,
I mean, I don't want somebody to
yeah,
be like, let's steal the statue. Forget what's in the vault.
right. But yeah, but there's definitely like it's a pretty nice classy looking establishment. And he kind of takes you sort of towards the back and up a set of stairs and he's like brings you to like an office area. There's like you know it's a decent sized office. It's not like overwhelmingly badass, but it's like it's decent size. There's like a mini bar in there and whatnot. There's like there's like three workstations in here, in various places throughout the room. He says, you two can divvy up those. I will retain this one for my own personal use. I'll try not to be in here any more than I need to be, but I will still be keeping an eye out as all the operations on this station are under my purview. I have to make sure you're profitable, but I'm sure you have plenty that you need to do. At the moment, I need to go. I have a meeting. I have a gathering to attend with our hosts, with our landlords, as it were. And this is take all the time you need, and calms me when you're ready. And he says, don't just don't open the place without me being here. Worked a
All
little
right.
too hard getting it together prior to your arrival to miss it.
Leave
Yeah,
it
we'll need
in.
it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. And all of a sudden the eyes flicker and it goes from red to green. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Master. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I fucked up. I talked. I talked while you were talking. Oh my God."
Shut up. We'll take care of it, boss. We'll calm
He
you when we're ready.
he nods and he nods and he heads out the door. And then we're gonna cut over to and then we'll cut over to the we'll cut over to like the your where exactly were you guys holding your meeting?
Our meeting,
Fella.
or I thought we were having
Well, your get together party or whatever you're doing.
I mean, I suppose the meeting room on the first floor is big enough that I don't know, but we put in all the offices. My room's technically not luxurious, so the meeting room's probably the best place for it. It does have blast doors.
So, maybe there's, you've got your
Yeah,
long,
we take the
yeah.
time to make it nice. We get some fancy things.
And so maybe you got your long table down the middle with the chairs on it and stuff. Maybe a little extra area on the side or whatnot for servants to bring in. For servants to bring in your different whatchamacallits, like your refreshments and what have you.
Right, there's Pebblebrook, and then there's the fire. Oh, the brandy. What is it called?
Cinderkin.
Cinderkin. Yes.
Uh,
So yeah, there's Pebblebrook whiskey, Cinderkin,
Brandy.
brandy, and then I don't know, probably some of that beer we picked up on Green Planet.
All right. Yeah.
And
So
some figs. The golden figs are there.
you probably the first person to arrive is gonna be
Percival.
well, actually, the first person to arrive is going to be Dr. Oglehop, but mostly because he heard there'd be refreshments.
That makes sense. But
Doc,
technically, he should have been there early anyway. We just didn't tell him that. Otherwise, he would have been 4 hours late.
well, Dr. Oglehop kind of wanders and he's like, so like, where's like the little finger sandwiches and stuff? Hey, do you guys have like those little
Could we
crispy
get a
pipe
description for the
treats?
folks at home of Dr. Oglehop?
So Dr. Oglehop is a goblin. First say but he is he's all of 3 foot tall, of very absent-minded looking individual. He's wearing a lab coat and fuzzy slippers as he walks in. You can see that he's got like a little injector pistol on his side, but it doesn't look like he maybe even necessarily remembers it's there, um, for the most part. And he walks in and he's got he looks like he's just smoked something. He does- and he kind of and so he walks in. He's just like and he kind of looks around. And he's like, "We get those." He's like, um, "Or maybe those crispy treats with like rice and stuff." Yeah,
Huh.
like he's like, "By the way, who do I talk to about getting another shipment of fortunate trinkets in? Because I'm like out, and it's my favorite cereal." Kurat, are you there? Are you in the meeting room already, or are you on your way too?
I'm on my way to.
Okay, all right,
Well, the bonus for Kurat is his doctor's office is literally off those meeting rooms,
right. Um,
so he's right around
Who
the corner.
who says I was coming from my doctor's office?
That is true, but I was just mentioning that it would be easy if you were still at work.
he does have personal quarters he sleeps in sometimes.
No
Occasionally.
way.
Yeah, I know, hey?
Yeah.
Kib, where are you at?
I'm in my room going over data and the different things and trying to figure out where the next thing is for the shipment. So he's at
Right about that
in his
same
computer
time,
in
you
room.
get a text from the engineering bay that says that something has gone haywire.
Ah, They touched the wrong button again, didn't they? He runs down there. It's like, I'll show him how it's done. 'Cause it's got to be this way. They always seem to cross wires, and this wire's got to go to that wire, and they can never get it right. But I'll help them. It'll be fixed. Shouldn't take me too long. Yeah, it'll be all right. We got this.
You're running down to engineering then. Yeah. So Dr. Oglehop kind of wanders around the room, like he seems to be looking for I don't know, are there refreshments already there or not?
Yes,
Oh,
yes. The
yeah,
table is set up.
yeah, he
There's
makes his way
what
over and
the snack area, I guess is what you'd call it, is what he would be looking for.
like a craft table kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's yeah, he goes over to yeah, he goes over there and picks up a few like little finger sandwiches and stuff and various things and begins
Right.
to eat.
If
I
he
think
goes back for seconds, Colovian attempts to slap his hand.
yeah, I think that turns into a conversation that she seems inordinately lost in where he starts talking about like physics for some reason. And you're not even sure how he made the jump. Like you come in on that like half end of that. You realize and turn around and look, and by the time you tune in, what he's saying, he's talking about some crazy fucking scientific shit, and Colovian looks like she's trying to understand what he's saying. uh, the the but the next person to show up is probably going to be Valen Sur. Um, he shows up. He looks very neutral, um, but he's like I think he probably can he's like he says messed up foe and I what was he I think he says I he what else is he what he brings it I think he brings in like some I think he brings it I think he's the one that brings in the Cinderkin brandy,
Okay.
right?
So
And he's like
Defron will, as they come in, whisper in my ear whatever they are and why they're important, just in case I've forgotten. You know, that very old school, like,
right.
That's Jim. You know that his wife is sick, and yeah.
It's Valen Sur and um he hands you he goes he says my apologies. I was going to try to get some Pebblebrook whiskey, but it's a little bit hard to get around out here. And he hands it. He,
I smile at him and I'm like, there are three vintages over there in the corner.
he's
We had to push them back a little bit further because, and I glance at the at Dr. Oglehop was trying to get too frisky too early in the evening.
um and I think
But thank you.
uh I think he kind of I think he nods and goes and kind of goes in and kind of looks around and he's like and um Quindon Maloon probably shows up next.
Ah, yes, Quindon. Good to
Your
see you.
your
Hi, Curtsy.
representative from the Velquin Empire.
Mm-hmm.
He gives you a sardonic bow and a half grin.
Right.
He's like, "Evening, ma'am." He
As
goes,
he
"I
approaches, my dress actually goes. Oh God, I already forgot the name of their planet or their system.
the
Vindolin? No.
Velquin
Yeah,
Empire."
it becomes more of a Valquin cut while I'm talking to him. So it is mostly dark colors, but I have a splash of red.
Okay. Yeah,
Mm.
he he nods and he goes. He nods and he goes, "Such attention to detail." He goes, "It's not a perfect replication, of course, but stunning nonetheless." He goes, and
Thank you. I programmed it myself.
he's like, he says, I imagine that we're waiting for the rest of the guests to arrive to to get down
Yes.
to the purpose of this gathering?
We have one, two, three, at least three more big wigs that have to show up before we can begin. But please feel free to snack, and then the main meal will happen, of course.
Um, I think Zerk shows up. He shows up with. He actually has a bottle of Pebblebrook whiskey.
Right, that's Zerk
Which
Silverchild, right?
Silver Soul.
Silver Soul, yeah.
Yeah. Um, Zerk Silver Soul, and I think that like Valen Sewer sees this, and there's maybe like well, give me a sense motive here.
Of course. Hang on, the computer went to sleep. Wake up. Okay, and you said sense motive?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on as I reload roll 20. Maybe. Oh, wow. Up there it goes. We are trying to reload now.
And Kurat, I think you're probably about there. So you probably are watching like the last couple of people go in as you're walking down the hallway.
Yeah.
Like
Sounds
you
good.
probably saw Quindon Maloon and Zerk walk in. Um,
Why is this being difficult? Sorry, everybody. I'm having technical difficulties on my end. So, while all that is going on, and I'm attempting to make that sense motive, I'm also texting Kib with my typical Kib. We said we were starting at 6:30 Pack Standard Time. It's already 7. You're really late this time.
He replies back like, okay, okay, give me. There's a thing I gotta do. I'll be right there. Yeah, maybe. I'm coming. Yeah, we got this.
I'm actually frozen. That's super weird. Ah, finally. My sense motive is a 1 because I can't get it to roll. Alright, I'm finally reloading roll 20. It's taking its sweet time, of course. That was ridiculous. Sense motive. Oh, that's not bad. 19.
yeah, he tries to hide it, but it looks a bit like you. He gives away nothing, but if you had to take a guess, then you would guess that this probably was basically a bit of an undermine move for him in the sense that, or at least he would have had to have thought it. For first of all, he went to he had to have gone to a little bit of trouble at least to figure out that you like Pebblebrook whiskey. But he didn't think he up, but you already had some, which he didn't know, and now Zerk had some, which he wasn't able to get hold of
Mm,
himself. So if you had to take a guess, this might be one of those deals where he's not terribly happy about, but he didn't give anything away. But it's that moment where you're like, you know what? he, he did go to trouble to find out I like Pebblebrook whiskey and try to get here before anybody else. Um, uh, that much you can glean. You can
well,
make
of course.
assumptions based on that how he might have felt about Zerk getting a hold of somebody. He goes, oh yes, and I've got a little bit of
A little bit of
so
what?
Oh, that's my bad.
I'm writing something down here. Oh, I got it. It says, and I do have, he goes, and my, Zerk kind of looks at you and says, and my, Ziltith tea or Quiltith tea is a bit hard to get a hold of right now, but I did manage to secure a personal case.
That's a lot of tea.
He goes, hey, he goes, if you like tea, he goes, if you enjoy tea, I would be happy to send you a sample of it.
Of course.
And he kind of walks in um and he actually hails over to uh, to talk to he actually hails over to talk to Valence Sewer and Quendon Maloon, who are now engaged in conversation. You get the next to show up is like Sestra. And Sestra, I don't know if you even invited her or not, but
Technically, it would have been untactful to not invite her. And I would have already sent a letter of apology to Crenville about it.
yeah, well, she she shows up and she's much like her siblings, the sort of bruised blue skin, but with dark hair, dropping in, curled ringlets. She's obviously done her hair for the event.
Mm.
You've no doubt that the dress she's wearing is an armored version, but it's still high style.
Well,
Um,
yeah.
and it is and it is a black dress. Um, but she walks in and she's like, yeah, interesting. She goes, Miss Depot, and Kurad, you're maybe hit the door about the same time she does. Like,
Oh yeah,
she'll
I
probably, yeah,
bolted for her to go before me.
yeah.
Mm.
She nods. Thank you. She walks in, Miss Depot, and looks around and goes,
When she says Miss Stepfo, my dress switches from the black dress that I was wearing to a white one.
okay, yeah. And she's
And
like,
I'm like, oh, Sestra, I'm so glad that you made it. We have several fine vintages on the left, snacks on the right. Stay away from your brother, and Isaac said he wants to talk to you.
you technically don't know that yet.
Oh, damn it, you're right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to fucking do that. But stay away from your brother. That part's still right. Wait,
She's
I
like,
probably know that Isaac was on board by that point.
actually, you are about to get that message.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
The um but yeah, she's like she kind of chuckles at that and she's like uh, she goes, just you telling me to stay away from him it gives me all the more amusement. He's really that uncomfortable, is he? And
Eh, I just try to look out for my friends.
she just kind of laughs. She goes, that in and itself is funny. And she goes,
Mm.
and she goes, by the way, I would a matter I was going to bring up to you a little bit later about getting a bit of exercise for some of my people on board from some of my for some of my units. She's like,
We
but we
only
can
have
talk through
a.
all of that later.
I was going to say, you know what facilities are on board. And you also know at this point when I normally run maneuvers in said room. So we can definitely schedule you a small rental fee so that you can use our facilities to keep your men in check.
Excellent. Some of them get rather
Restless?
I was going to use the word stupid, but restless will work when they're
Mm.
idle too long. Mm. So, like, I do appreciate it. We can go over details at some other point.
Say,
She,
is the Lightning Dragons currently? Yeah, they should be. They're still waiting on money.
well, they're coming back or whatever. And
Okay.
but
Well, I was gonna say because no, it's not the Lightning Dragons. The other one that has the knoll.
the shit, you would make
She's
me
a dwarf
draw a
lady.
blank. No, she's not a dwarf. She's
Oh
a
no,
Patra.
is she Patra?
It's
Oh yeah, she's a Patra. That's right. I don't know. I always imagine her as a dwarf. She must be a short Patra. I'm just kidding. She's average size.
the plasma scar.
Yeah. Well, otherwise I'd be like, well, if you have some ones that get a little too stupid, the plasma scars around, their knoll is a vicious piece of living meat. In fact, he's almost perfect the way he is. I've only wanted to put him in the corpse recycler once.
Like she kind of chuckles at that, and she goes, uh, she goes, I've heard a rumor or two about that one. A bit of a handful, it seems. And
Yes, but she does keep him in check as much as she can.
and she kind of chuckles, says, "I'm," and she goes, "I better get out of the way of the door. Your fellow council member, the doctor, is about to. It was right outside." And she kind of, uh,
Ah,
if you'll excuse me.
Red. Welcome to the party. I have
Yeah.
some. Chester, I can't believe I can't remember the name of his people.
The name of whose people? The
Correct.
Osharu? The
Yeah,
Osharu?
that was what it was. Correct. I've managed to acquire some Usharu delicacies that I've kept back from the other doctor who literally at this point is about to get tranked so that we can make him sleep for a while. Stop. You've already had 4 fucking plates, man.
You you actually the funny thing is Kurad, having gotten to know like Kurad sharing office space and what have you have gotten to realize that exactly what he is. He's a shaman of the he's a mystic of the star shaman tradition, but more than that, you knew guys like them when you went to medical school. He's also a biohacker. He's also one of the more annoying types of students because he's one of those people who may study, but he just doesn't study as hard because he gets it instinctively. He didn't like pour himself in the way that like your more intellectual peers are, like the more intellectual students did.
More
He was one
naturally
of
gifted.
Yeah, he was one of those kinds of people that just by instinct. So for as airheaded as he seems, he's legitimately a trained professional. He just happens to have most of his talent come by just making these leaps of logic that work out for him. Um, he seems to just be able to understand shit.
He has Warlanisi luck.
Um, Not necessarily, but yeah, he seems to have engaged Colovian in a conversation she both looks like she doesn't understand and wants out of. At this point, you looking over there, Philip, you realize that he has moved on to talking about biology and climatology.
I
um,
because I have a moment, I walk over and I whisper in his ear. I'm like, "Hey, you should go talk to Sestra. And she wants to know about your holistic medicine." I realize that is a bluff, so let's see if he believes me. He does not believe me.
no,
Wow.
he's no. I think it's more to the point where he doesn't even he like instead of walking over, he walks about halfway there, seems to forget what he's doing, and turns around and goes over and stops to talk to Quentin Malone,
Okay, that's
um,
fine.
who
So
seems a
long as
bit
he's leaving her alone.
and Quentin seems a bit amused by this for the most part.
There's always one guy at the party that likes the drunk.
Sestros seems to be engaged in some sort of like conversation with Zerk at the moment, and I think this is about the time that you get a you get like a heads up from Ninvus that that the malcontent Isig's shuttle has arrived, Isig's light freighter has arrived with a contingent on board, and Isig
Oh,
is headed to see him or headed
I
to
am
see you.
now part of the canon and not part of the meta. All right.
Yeah, and
So wait. So then, yeah.
yeah,
All right.
um,
So then I will walk back over to. Kib's not here yet. That little bastard. He said he'd be here soon. Um, to Korad, and I'm like, Isig is here, and a couple of others apparently. A fungus and an android, correct?
Yeah.
That's correct.
yeah,
Okay. Okay,
yeah.
I just want to make sure. Yeah, a fungus and an android came with him, and then of course his normal contingent of his uplifted bear and everyone else that watches him.
Ulthur the
Ulthur,
Ulthur,
yes,
yeah, the big bear in a suit and tie.
it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then I
But
run to
anyway,
the door.
I'm
Hey,
like,
I made it. I'm good. What? I'm
I
here.
reach into a pocket and pull out a different bow tie, and I walk over and I tie it on, just enough crooked that if he wants to fix it, he can. Otherwise, it's how he likes it. And I'm like,
I forgot that. Gotcha.
I'm
My
so
bad.
glad that you're here.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember, be nice to the people, and if Dr. Oglehop gets in someone's face for too long, try to distract Dr. Oglehop so we can make the nice people have a better time.
Oh, he's a
Right
fun dude
now,
to talk to. Yeah.
yes, I know you enjoy him, so that'll make it easier. Um, other than that, I mean, he's kind of eat anything, so I tell him what's over there. I'm like, there's a variety of foods that you'll enjoy.
Yeah.
And remember, do not hide the figs inside your Yusukai tunnels. They will sprout and they will grow, and we don't want that. Not that way.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
You like this is probably about the time that Captain Worthy like shows up. Like he shows up with like maybe a couple of his crew or something. And he kind of looks at them and he goes, I'm probably gonna be okay in here. You guys can I don't know, I should mingle, go gamble, wait in the hall. I don't know. Just and he
I'm
kind of
fine with
turns
them
around
mingling.
and he kind of he looks over. He's like, "Ah, Mr. Foe," and he goes
Right.
and
I walk forward and I do the whole, like, huggy, huggy kiss on the cheek thing. And when I approach him, my outfit changes to a pantsuit with a cape.
nice.
Right?
Uh, I
It
think
looks very
Zerk.
piratey.
I think Zerk like hollers from across the room. And it's like he's like, "Hey, Worthy, Percival, what the hell, man?" He comes striding across the room in a quick. He's like, "How are you?" And Captain Worthy was like, "Well, I'm doing quite well. I'm doing quite well." Hey, he goes and he winks. He's like, "How's Dagger? Eh, eh?" And Zerk just kind of goes, looks at him, and goes, "I don't know what you're talking about." And he goes, and they both have a laugh. And he goes, and Percival looks at Worthy, looks. He goes, "Hey, me and this guy, we go way back. We've done a bit of business together here and there." And Zerk goes off the books a little bit, but you know. and he's like, yeah. So, we waiting on anybody else here, or is there somebody else? He goes, so and what he goes, what's this all about, if you don't mind? Uh, I've got I got a Cade run. He goes, I got a Cade run. The Garen through the Garen lines sometime.
Well, we weren't waiting for anybody after you got here, but Isaac has just arrived with his entourage. So I assume that, well, I'll text. Why am I having such a hard time with his name tonight? Not Kurat.
Prinville.
Crenville, yeah. I will text Crenville and be like, so does your brother know he's supposed to be at this party? Question mark.
Oh, Isaac sends back.
Oh,
Got a
Isaac.
little. He had something to take care of, and
Uh, so
and
Isaac intercepted the thing. That's fine.
yeah,
I guess I would have had his comm number once he got on
I
board.
thought
So,
that's who you were texting, is to see if you knew he was supposed to. Or
well,
you were
no,
texting
I
Prinville or
yeah, I text
Isaac?
Crenville because
Oh,
Crenville is, he's our dude on the ship.
Prinville is like, I'm sure he'll find, if he doesn't already know where you're at, he'll find you. He's like, sorry, I'm running late. Got business to take care of.
Okay, I guess we can start. God, it's been several weeks, man. What are we trying to do here? Oh, I'm looking for a buyer for the books. That's what we're doing, Kib.
Great. So
That was part of it.
we
Okay,
got
wait.
all these books and they're categorized, right? Oh, we're not doing that?
Yeah,
Okay.
no. We will get to it. That's why I put you in a bow tie. So
Sorry.
get out your pad. That way you can go to your list, and then I'll be like, gentlemen, ladies, everyone else involved. Um, we came across a ridiculous amount of actual printed material, and now Kib will go on from here.
Okay,
But
so
go ahead.
hold up. We got this and that. And that's okay.
Oof.
They're books
Still got
of
15.
knowledge, and I'm on the wrong tab to read my notes. A joke. Where did my notes for that go? No.
I lean over and slowly close tabs until we get to the right one.
Oh, okay. So there's technical books on how to do things that kind of walk you through. There's some other weird books too. I remember that. But they're really good books and very informative. And anybody wants to buy them, they're useful for starting
A library.
thing. Yeah, a library. Like you can, they're basic manuals for doing processes if you go onto a planet to like do things. Yeah, something like that.
I think everybody kind of looks confused at this and like yeah. So I think they all like everybody kind of like looks at it as like Zerk both Zerk and Valen Sur are kind of at a loss. They're like they're not, neither of them are set up for anything like that until you guys put in the shopping mall district. Like
I
they
realize
don't
that,
have the
but
infrastructure. So um the
they might have a suggestion, which is part of the reason I'm throwing a fancy party. A
well,
gala, even if you wish.
give me some gather information checks to see what you can dredge up, because like if you're going to find out anything, it's probably going to come through like
Um,
either individual conversations or
You mean
overhearing
culture?
some things. Yes.
Okay, I was like, I went to G and I was like, there's no gather information. That's not the right
Yes.
system. All right,
Yes.
see, that's pretty good. Do you
All
want more
right.
than that?
Everybody give me everybody who's trying to find something out, who's got everybody who's got ranks in culture and wants to make a roll can make a roll here. So Kurad, Kib, if either of you have.
Hey, Karat, we're twinsies.
You
Don't
know,
have ranks in culture.
Okay, so Kib is lost on you. So I think amidst all of the everything that you're like getting, like as far as talking to people, you find out first of all that there's a couple of different places you have not heard of. Um, like you hear about some
Hang
place
on, I gotta
called,
open my notes.
okay,
You're like, new stuff. And I'm like, I wasn't ready for new stuff. Okay, edit. Go ahead.
and the so you hear about a place called the Bend.
Isn't that a restaurant on 17th Street?
Mm-hmm. There's this good, just a place called Bend, and the rumor is that the place is a like new, very new, very strange, and rumor has it that they're a breakaway from Dwell, um, which you guys learned about, like the sort of like school
From
slash
DW.
monastery
Well,
slash, huh?
oh, that place.
The ones that was like that had the Solarian and whatnot, that
Yeah,
were
Vesset
training
Minrotha.
Solarians and vanguards and stuff, huh?
Vesset Minrotha. But what was the name of her actual retreat? I just wrote it down as the retreat school.
It was called Dwell.
Okay.
But this place is called Bend, and it's rumored to be a breakaway from Dwell. In fact, Dwell, as far as you can tell, has only recently either been discovered or recently made its presence known, or recently came to the system because they're actually in the Drage system somewhere.
Oh,
But
interesting.
that's from rumor. Um, the other thing you heard about is the other place you hear about, and this one actually makes sense to actually specifically come from Percival Worthy, because he would probably be most knowledgeable here. Um, Percival Worthy says, kind of looks at you and he said, after you're like in casual conversation, he goes, there are a couple of places that I've heard of. There's the Verilax Concordance, which you had heard of before, but only recently, and the League of Halades.
And you said the League of what?
Halades.
Spell it. Otherwise, I'm going to spell it very wrong.
Um,
Ah, thank you. You're amazing.
there's the League of Halades. He says first of all, uh, Verilax, they're hungry for knowledge of all
Oh,
types. They're a technocracy, well, a technomantocracy, if you will. They're a council of technomancers and kind of a nasty place, rather polluted. Um, so much
that sounds like
industrial and alchemical waste that yeah, it's kind of a. But they're hungry for knowledge. They'd be interested in any kind of reference points that they could digitize potentially. Um, the other place is the League of Halades, and Halades, well, that's an anything goes straight up capitalist. That's an oligarchy. They're ruled by corporations. They have something of a rotating council of those with the largest influence that sort of direct the governing policies over business such as they are, but it's pretty much anything goes. The my understanding is that the oligarchs that run Haladice constantly backstabbing and infighting and always trying to stack the deck in their own favor with as much influence as they can to push things. It's there's a lot of buying and selling of anything there. You wanted to know about my idea? If you want to know where I'd go to sell these things, those would probably be the markets where you're going to find the easiest time finding a buyer.
See, so it was worth having a dinner.
And I think, yeah, he's like he goes, those would be my guesstimations. If you like, I could send you the beacon coordinates so you can beacon so you can drift there. Your shuttle.
One moment. I'm poor. Okay. Yes, that would be great. I would appreciate it immensely. And as always, it's good to have you on board.
Well, can't stay too awful long. Like I say, things heating up with the Velquin Empire and the Garin Empire. There's there's a few independent planets that are kind of blockaded right now. Need some supplies run. Uh, It's a fairly lucrative run. Extremely risky though. Never been able to get past the Garin blockades before, but I might have an angle.
I
Always the
wish
first
you good
time.
luck.
Uh, He's like, yeah,
Also, have you come across the Order of Kavoy in your travels anywhere?
yeah, I've seen them. I've seen movements of their people here and there. They usually spread pretty thin for the most part, except around, well, I would imagine except around where they're based out of, but I haven't been there, so couldn't tell you too much about that.
Okay,
Because
I just want to make sure that something hadn't happened. I would
mm,
hate to have to go and figure out why they were all dead.
he goes, well, more dead than they already are, huh? And he
Ah,
kind of
ah,
jokes about it. It's like
true enough.
seriously, here's
By the
seriously,
way,
they're good enough people. They're a little strict for my taste, but
yes,
a
but at
little
least
too
they're not
buttoned down.
spouting that childlike nonsense like the father out there. Father, Kareth, right? Koresh? Kareth.
Karef.
Yeah.
He goes, hey, something about that guy. And it seems he goes, I don't know. He goes, you probably know more about him than I do at this point. I just, I don't know. He
I,
goes,
I look at him and I'm like, as an Eoxian, I wanted him dead the day that I got back and found him. As someone who is in charge of the station, unfortunately, creating a martyr out of a fool would be twice as much work to deal with.
oh,
And we've
wise
changed our
decision.
tactics. We're no longer feeding them immediately into the corpse recycler if they're the fanatics doing the graffiti. We're sending them to Abador Corp to be reconditioned.
He kind of laughs at that. He goes, oh, well, yeah, they'll
At,
condition you all right.
at
Washed
least
and
it,
rinsed.
yes, yes, but it's much easier to deal with a zealot of Abador than it is to deal with just a zealot in general.
He's like, he goes, he goes, well, I think he goes, I would tend to agree. He goes, and he kind of looks over, he goes, any idea what those two are talking about? And Sestra and Zerk are talking, like Sestra has pulled Zerk's ear again. Dr.
Hmm.
Oglehop, for his part, is is at this point.
All right,
Um,
so is reading lips under the sense motive, or would that be something more culture based? Or what would
I don't
you
think
like
you
to roll
can.
for that?
I don't think you can necessarily read their lips, but you might be able to read body language. So sense motive will
Sense
work.
motive it is. All right. Well,
They
that's not horrible.
they seem to be engaged in some kind of business, like casual business, but business nonetheless. I mean, but it's hard to say what exactly. You know, you're not sure who's trying to strike a deal with who and for what, or but
Mm.
it seems like there's some conversation in that direction. Um, but you do notice that at some, um, so Sestra breaks off from her conversation with Zerk and flags down Quentin Maloon.
Mm. So I have put a ha on his. He's basically going through the isekai tunnels, following Isaac at this point, so that when Isaac almost is at the doors, he'll fly ahead and pop out of one of Kib's isekai holes to be like, he's here. And then soft jazz will play.
uh, but yeah,
Because I would
there's
hate for
a
anyone to leave before Isaac gets there. I mean, if you're going to kiss butt, he's the one to kiss butt with.
no. I think Isaac does eventually make it. Like Ulthar enters the room first, like
Uh,
kind of like, and he kind of like looks around. And he's wearing his he's wearing shades in his suit, and he kind of like and like there's a misstep foe. He's like,
oh, in my brain? Or does he
yeah,
actually talk? Okay,
no, in your brain. He
good.
can't really make human sounds. That he only speaks telepathically.
Right, and I don't actually speak uplifted bear, so, which is too
Yeah,
bad. I'll work on that. Anyway, and I'm like, Ulcer, good to see you. Go ahead and check it out.
and he goes Isaac his man he goes Isaac is ha- Isaac's happy to is Isaac wanted me to convey that he's happy to be here. Everything seems a bit in order. He goes and he stops for a minute and he looks like he's stopping to if he stops for a minute and kind of um and Isaac kind of walks through the door and he goes and he kind of with his detail behind him he goes he goes he goes he kind of looks at Arthur and he goes I'm sure it'll be just fine, won't it? And he goes and he looks at you and goes it's
When
been a
Isaac walks through
while.
the door, my dress turns red and looks like it's literally on fire. It's very pretty.
And he goes he
I could.
nods and yeah, he nods in appreciation. He goes, Miss Depot. He goes,
I
I'm
hope.
it's been a while. I'm pleased to see things are coming along.
I'd hope that I'd be seeing you soon. Not that anything's wrong, just that it'd been a while.
Oh
Agreed.
no. The syndicate business keeps me rather well business busy. Because
Rather busy. I'm so
he,
busy that I keep having to hire people. Not that there's many out here to find.
he's like he kind of he says, "Yeah, you do seem to have found a few important individuals to make friends with.
Yes, I took your advice and have been making friends since you left.
And
Well, mostly friends. We've, and I kind of looked down at Kib for a second, have lost a couple of potential business partners, but we've made up for it in other places.
I
he
just said
nods.
hi.
I know, and that android just didn't like it at all.
He's he kind of looks around and goes, so he says, I'm sure there's a number of individuals I'll need to speak to before the night is through, but after everything is over, I'd like to have a rather informal, uh, a rather, well, formal, informal sit down. He says he says, and he looks over at you, Kib, and Dr. Karad, and he says, my apologies, did not mean to ignore the two of you, Mr. Kib, Dr. Karad. He goes,
I just thought.
he, he says, oh, and I did bring you a gift. Finally got a few matters cleared up. You now have management in the casino.
Oh,
You'll meet them a little later on. They're taking care of official business at the moment, getting settled in, as it were. It's why Crenville's late.
it's okay. As far as it goes, I'd at least give them the first night to get settled in before I was on top of it. And I know that there was plenty on Crenville's plate for them to do the second that they arrived. Crenville has kept us up to date on everything that's going on. Well, at least as much as he needs to. So your sister's quite a handful.
He chuckles. He goes, yes, I'm well aware. And she's likes to. I'd be careful. She sometimes likes to play the victim, but she does love to scandalize Crenville as much as she can. She never managed to get past it. It was a matter of ignorance. Uh,
Mm.
I'm sure that it's come up at some point.
I only know what came out because she has a big mouth. Other than that, it's none of my business. And it's not something that will gain me anything by the knowledge. So I've let your brother have his solace in the fact that at least we don't know what's going on. But other than that, no, your sister is quite the businesswoman. Um, the contract that we got, I gave up a little bit extra, but so far it seems to be working out for us. Though eventually she's going to choose sides in this world by who has more money, and then I'll have gained a little bit of a target.
He
And at
goes,
that moment, I'll still claim that I'm being neutral. So,
he goes, he goes, he kind of, he kind of chuckles at that. And I think we kind of like cut back over to, I think we cut back over to our new managers here,
nice.
AL and Millicent. Millicent, where are
Uh,
you? So, what have you guys like? You guys have been kind of getting things like squared up here. Like, what kinds of things like have you like kind of are have you been doing?
Well, for one, I've been checking out the vault, the areas that we have under tight lockdown, such as the not only the vault, but where we exchange the money and where we exchange the chips for money and where we pay out and all of that kind of stuff. But mostly it's been a lot of checking to make sure that should shit truly hit the fan, that the casino will remain with management and management's staff, essential staff.
Right.
And I'm checking security, just kind of like making sure that there aren't any holes in like cameras, sensors, and all that stuff.
Are you talking to like your door guys and your
Yeah.
your security staff and what have you
Yeah,
in
Yep.
house?
basically what we're going to do is we're going to set up a system to where everybody is going to walk away with a smile on their face, but no cash in their pockets. We're talking, we're going to not water down the drinks on the first night just for this big explosive, deal. And we're going to escort anybody who's anybody to a winning table, basically. So all of the biggest names in the spaceship, or not spaceship, space station
Freewheel
will,
station.
have the wildest time of their life. Walk away with fabulous prizes, loads of whatever vice they wish.
Right on, right on. So there, you've managed to get all your preparations done and what have you.
Yeah.
It like whenever whenever you message Krenville, he'll tell you that he'll give you directions to come up to meet the landlords, the administration for the station
Okay.
administration, and like,
I will guide him there when we are set to come.
all right,
As a
All right,
bodyguard.
Jester.
yeah.
Because out of character, because we had changed the rules to where the number one rule isn't there right now. Did we ever actually go through with the whole putting up the the hidden script on some of the walls for the androids that do come on board?
We'll get back to that
Okay.
because I don't.
Otherwise, I was
I
going to
don't
be like, this is a good time for the android to make some perception checks if we did finish that or not.
no, I
Okay, but
gotta
if not,
because
we're fine.
I'm not sure how we're gonna like
Work
justify
that
that
in.
rule wise. So,
Okay.
um, but yeah, so you guys managed to make it up to the meeting room. There's a whole bunch of people up here, like you already know Isig and Crenville. It's up to you whether you may or may not have uh, seen a picture of, or heard of Sestra at all. Because
Hmm.
there's now 3 tieflings in the room. They're all siblings. All of the well, maybe not all of the family,
And you've definitely seen pictures of all the
but
council people. There's several places on board
yeah.
that have portraits of us up so that people know who we are.
Well, and they probably gave you like
Oh, yeah,
that
that's true. It would have
information
been in
through
the
like the
packet.
syndicate. Yeah, the syndicate probably like when they gave you like the information on what you were going to be doing and whatnot, probably like had that in the file that these are the people. Um, and like maybe like uh you get there and
As soon as we make, I make eye contact, like I see them,
mhm.
like my green eyes, like see them, and I'm like, oh God, they're such a big deal, boss. Oh God, now they're looking at us. They're looking at us. They're
Yeah,
looking
they
at
are.
us.
Well, mostly you. Uh, hello, Red.
And that was all
That
out
one
loud,
sounds
right? That was in
Yes.
character.
Yes.
Okay. I looked down at Kib and I was like, Kib, I think we found someone more excitable than you.
I know. That one looks like fun. Can I talk to him, please?
I think
Please.
I think Isig
Yes.
waves. I think Isig waves Millicent and AL to come on over and whatnot. He's standing with them.
Yeah, we'll make our way over.
And says,
Hi,
says
how you
Ms.
doing? I
Ms.
like to put my
Depo.
hand out.
He chuckles. He says, Ms. Depo, Mr. Kib, Dr. Kurad, meet Millicent, who will be the manager of the casino, and AL, who will be in charge of security for the casino. And
Conrad, you're
Actually,
finally gonna.
it's Albert.
Uh-huh.
I mean, never
Get
mind.
it out.
No.
It's a pleasure to meet
How
all of you.
quaint.
And he like reaches out and shakes the hand, and he kind of lingers way too long.
All right.
yeah,
He does like the aggressive, like happy shake of your hand and goes with it. He
Right.
Kim
You
is just,
literally are
this
shaking
is
hands
awesome.
long enough that the rest of us have been amused by it and grown bored with it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Kib,
Right,
let
just looks at
introduce
the
himself
hand.
to the rest of them.
and he's like to the two of you. He looks at you and says, this is the ruling council. This is the head of Lichdom Corporation. Um, or he says, Ms. Depo, Dr. Kurad, and Mr. Kib. Mr. Kib,
Hmm.
I understand runs engineering and maintenance.
Yeah.
Oh.
I fix things. I make this station operate. I know it looks bad now. It used to look real good. We had awesome things, but I lost my favorite wrench, and it took more to get it fixed. We're slowly getting it working. You got to put a certain thing here to connect to this, and this works this. And people haven't understand how I have things set up. But yeah, I'm getting things working just fine, and it's doing great. Yeah.
Yeah, I have every confidence in your ability.
Oh yeah, I'm awesome.
I was gonna say I've found that even though his personality is kind of abrasive, that he does get things done. And as an actual engineer, I find it amusing that he goes about it in the most ass backwards way, and it still works for him. Like literally, every switch for lights in any room, if there was one, is wired backwards, so down is up and up is down. But it works, and so I let him get away with it.
No, it's supposed to go that way, right? Yeah.
I scratch behind your left ear, and I'm like, yes, that's fine. If we had problems with it, someone would have said something fine.
Hey, look, as long as the casino keeps steady power, I'll be happy.
You should be fine.
Yes.
As far as all that goes, Kib will be on top of it, and all of his subordinates are technically better trained, but because it has to be done Kib's way, they're learning.
Yeah. I can understand that.
I mean,
The difference
technically,
between engineering and mechanics,
he's actually better at it than I am. There's been a couple of times where I've been stuck, and he's like, boop, and touches one thing, and it works for him. And I'm like, you little son of a. And, but yeah, he's definitely been an asset. He was the best thing left behind.
That's interesting. What do you mean by left behind?
Oh,
Well,
what we got
okay,
here. Oh,
so-
go ahead. Tell the story, Kib.
So I've been on this particular station. It, like I said, it looked better before. I was with a different employer before, and some things happened, and then they came and took over, and then I was still here because the last person I was with, I kind of made the dude mad, and well, he didn't feel like shooting me straight in the face for some reason. But we'll get to that in a different future time lapse iteration somewhere. I don't know. But so he threw me in this little brig thing for a while, and that's when the invasion happened. And then these wonderful people showed up. And then I was like, hey, I know about the station. Y'all should keep me around so that I can show you how it works. And yeah. So I've been here for like 2 years, I think. Oh, this is my station.
It
It's our
has,
station.
it's
I put
almost, well,
my,
I don't know when you got here, but we've almost been here for a year, so yes.
I put my cane down in front of Milliceps, and my eyes switched to blue, and like this. I would appreciate if you take a step back, and then another step back, if you don't mind.
Oh. Sorry. What? Okay. There.
I am
Thanks.
Master Milliceps' bodyguard. You may call me Ellie.
Wait, what?
Oh, that's awesome. But
I like it.
let's see if I notice.
I'm confused.
I don't know enough to care. Okay. I'm like, well, that's different. And I'm like, I'll be back. When I
Did
come back, I
Conrad
have a
pick
glass
up
of
on
water.
this?
so
Just-
yeah.
Do you have sense motives? Then you can try.
Oh, I have sense motive.
I know, but I'll try anyways.
Oh, kid doesn't know anything. Okay.
So
I don't know if
20.
that's high enough, but that's a 20.
That it is.
Yeah, no, AL has 3 main personalities, and you will recognize them as RGB, red, blue, and green. And Albert's green, Allie is blue, and Alistair is red. And they have different personalities.
Yeah,
That's great.
I love this character. I've ran with this character before in a different character.
Right,
I
it's an
love this
alternate
character.
version too, because Albert's a
Yeah.
different character too.
That's why I was confused too. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, I don't remember an Albert. What's going on? That's awesome.
Uh,
All right. So when I come back, I have a glass of water for you, Kurad. I'm like, here you go, dear. You haven't been drinking enough. You've been working too hard.
Well, thank you.
Oh, Master, would you like a drink? I can get you a
Yeah.
drink if you'd like. She goes and gets a drink wherever she can and brings it back to him and like this. Here, let me pour this for you.
All right.
There you go.
Okay, there were several excellent vintages, so you probably picked well. Well, excellent for being in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we have like a 15-year, and that's probably the best one.
Right on.
No,
so I think
You guys aren't drinking. Would you
I
like a
think-
drink?
Oh, I was told I'm not supposed to drink as much because then I just start rambling on about randomness and
when the master
No.
says offers you a drink, you drink.
okay. Well, yeah.
I put my hand on your shoulder and step just a little bit in front of you, and I'm like, yes, and technically, if I was, I'd be his master. So, thank you, but he doesn't need anything right now.
Very well.
Yeah.
Hang on. You gotta do it right. The diplomacy girl. Yay!
Friggin' that 20. All right.
Mm.
uh,
But, hopefully, I said it politely enough that you're not offended now.
Yeah.
No, not offended, but she does say, yes. Across my master, you understand. I will not forget it. In fact, she pulls the blade out of her cane.
Allie,
so
Allie,
just-
Allie,
just-
don't pull that
it
thing out
stops.
unless you intend to draw somebody's blood.
Hmm.
Yes, absolutely. I understand, master. You are so right. I am so sorry.
So, is 23 high enough for me to recognize the style of blade? Jessa?
uh,
I mean, I do like weapons, so. I just wanted to be like, oh, a fascinating model. Was that handmade for you?
Did I? Okay. I wasn't sure what the answer was from Justin. What did he say?
Well, we're still waiting on that. He's thinking.
Well, I'm not entirely certain. I'm not entirely certain what level is that weapon.
It was. If I remember, let me just make sure I have it here. It was supposed to be. Skills equipment. Oh, where is it? Go back. Weapon. There it goes. Yeah, it's level 4. Yep.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably safe to say you could probably tell that it is actually. Give me normally I
Whatever
would
you
ask
want.
normally I would ask for an engineering check on that, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you. Yeah, it's
I
an
was gonna
advanced
say.
sword cane. It's an advanced sword cane. So
All right. So either way, I was like, oh, an advanced model. I like it.
Yes.
Was it made for you? Or was it just purchased? Because I could probably make you one that's a little bit better, if not.
It was purchased by my master.
Well, just so you know, we have a wide variety of skills amongst us, and one of my, mm, I don't know. I have an infatuation with making sharp things
Hmm.
and boomy things. I'm like, and I show you my cannon. I'm like, and it slides out of a hidden compartment, and I'm like, this is what I use.
Just kind of
And
Very nice.
it's open, and you can see that it's not loaded at the moment.
Ah,
so
thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, it's two hands. I'm not holding it like in a threatening manner. We're just comparing weapons right now.
right. So what my character does is, I refer any negotiations on any purchases to my master.
Of course.
Yeah, I
And
think we'll
this is
be
the like
good
second or third
friends.
time I've heard you say that, and I give Cora a glance. But we'll get back to that glance later. But Corad saw it.
Oh, he saw it.
And
He's
you've been
mental
listening,
notes.
so
Yeah, I'm sure with your crew here, we're going to be the best of friends in that regard.
I don't know. It depends on how easily you can be bribed.
Hey, money talks.
Okay. But we'll get to that later too. For right now, we're still just learning about each other. And I'm like, so before you became managers of a casino, what were your backgrounds? What other sorts of jobs do you hold? Do you have excellent skills in computers or anything of the like?
I do. I know a thing or two about computers. I'm also a
Uh,
technomancer. Um,
so some magic too. Excellent.
yes.
Kurat here is our head doctor as well as our mystic. And then Dr. Oglehop over there, the goblin that is currently. I told you 5 plates is too much. You're just 3 foot tall. Where are you putting all that food? And then I'm like, wait,
We have like
you're a goblin.
I got it. I'll go talk to him. You guys have fun.
No. I
He's
forgot. Goblins can eat their own weight in food every day.
okay.
It's fine.
My
It's
bad.
fine. I'll
I was
forgive him.
okay. I was gonna talk
What?
to him.
Oh, well, go talk to him. You can go talk to him. We can talk to these
You
guys
wanted
without you.
him to be distracted and
Well, he's been distracted so far. But, kid, whatever you want to do.
I know, but you were like, I don't know.
I know. I thought the doctor was going to be more of a distraction at the party than he has been so far. How about that?
Oh, okay. I get it. I'll follow.
It's
I got you.
not like he's not being kind of out there. I mean, he does tend to get people in conversations, and some of them look amused, some of them look annoyed.
And that's fine because the ones that look annoyed are well to do enough to just wander off from him if he doesn't wander off from them. I have to go. Goodbye. No. And they only go like 10 feet to go talk to somebody else.
Have a nice evening.
Yeah.
We just got him. Oh God, I think he's been here 4 months now. Kib's bodyguard found him wandering the halls one day, and it was easier to hire him than just let him be homeless. So, and then, like we said, Kib is mostly in charge of engineering and stuff, and he talks quite a bit as well. And I do whatever I need to.
I have a bodyguard.
When you get to your rooms tonight, there should be an overall, program on your tablet that will tell you where everything is on station, where things are coming to the station soon. We're about to have a shopping mall and a club that will be 2 floors underneath the casino. So, those are some of the things. Oh, and we're also getting into spaceship building once we can. There's a war coming up, and we'll make quite a profit.
Sounds like a plan.
Selling books.
Yeah, we're selling books right now.
Okay.
But we have a place to go for those.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't there. I'm sorry. Kib, we have a lead on a buyer, but we're going to have to go somewhere that will take us a few weeks. All right. Now.
That gives me time to find the next location and stuff. Yeah, that's fine. I got it.
Okay. Yeah, you'll get some time. Anyway, sorry guys. Kid is distracting. Okay, so is there anything else you want to know?
Huh? Oh, no. Were you talking to me?
Yeah, anything you need to know about the station that hasn't already been in your first packet?
Nah, not really.
Oh, yes. There's one. You'll see on floor 1 that we have a guy that stands on a soapbox. That is Father Kareth. He spouts juvenile tales from pre-gap times. He's kind of a problem. I have some people working on that, but until then, there's a free show every day.
Is there
We'll
any
start handing out fruit.
is there any floor that is restricted and we're not allowed in?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but is he quiet for everybody else?
Foster? Yeah, he's a little
Me?
quiet.
Oh, am I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll turn up the game.
my apologies. I'm old, so sometimes I just can't hear.
No problem.
That
Is
was
that better?
That's a
there.
little
That's a
better.
lot better. Yeah, I just thought it was me because I thought I was deaf.
We're
Well, I
all
am.
old. I'm
Well,
old too.
Well, I
yeah.
don't think
Um,
Hester's old, and Joe's technically not old.
I'm a little older than Joe.
hmm.
So still a youngster, you're fine. All right. Anyway,
I'm the old one.
yes, your beard is majestic.
So any deck that is restricted that we're not allowed to be on that we should be aware of?
So right now, I would guess I don't know. Crenville, do they have access to go to ops?
Well, Crenville, that's where Crenville's at right now because he
Oh,
left them and was like,
okay.
yeah,
So is Isaac still here?
Isaac's still there. Like Isaac
Okay.
has actually kind of been watching this exchange, gauging how your reactions to each other are.
All right. So
Is
that would be something that I would actually ask Isaac because he's here. I was like, do these guys have access to ops through you guys? Is this something I need to give them?
I don't think it's a whatever security measures you have in place are probably fine. I don't know that they necessarily have much need to go to ops unless there's something they need to discuss with whoever's on duty. He says, but I would recommend that. But I would recommend that to both of you. And he turns to the two of you. And he says that you take this opportunity to make a few connections. He says, he says, he says, I'm, he says, there are representatives here from the Gemfish Trade Consortium, the Paper Leaf Trade Tea Trading Company, and he says, "Oh yes, and the Velquin Empire, it looks like, has a representative here."
Yes, he's my favorite.
It says, "And I wouldn't begrudge you making a deal or two with some of the pirate captains who come through here for your more personal and hard to get items." But there is, uh, he says, but perhaps he says, uh, it,
If that's the
it,
kind of thing that you're looking
yeah,
for, I would suggest you talk to Percival before he leaves, and I point out Mr. Worthy or Captain Worthy.
he says, he nods and he says, an excellent choice. I understand you have a few other regular pirate crews that make their run through here.
Yes, it'll be quite some time before I can try to eliminate some of the more disreputable folk.
He's like, he goes, oh no, by all means. He says, don't eliminate them on our account. We love disreputable folk. He says,
I laugh.
he says, we are disreputable folk. and, and he gives a wry smile at that. And it's like, says, uh, he says, I will, uh, he kind of looks at Millicent and AL and says, "I will leave you to your duties." He says, uh,
Oh,
and he looks at he
Isaac.
looks at yeah, yes.
Hi. Isaac, since you're actually here before the opening, you should probably be the first one to stay in the penthouse suite.
He goes, "Consider it. I mean, the
It is
malcontent has
quite
a
luxurious.
so are my quarters on the malcontent. I might take you up on your offer." He says, he kind of chuckles. He says, "If you've a minute,"
Of course.
and he says, uh, he says, "There are greater things I wanted to business and discuss, and things I wanted to discuss with you. Uh, Crinville will need to be there for this, um, and it will need to be a more private location than
Ah, see,
to
now
me."
we have a reason to go to ops.
Yes, he goes, "Excellent." He goes,
Yeah.
he says, "If but at the time being, I will enjoy speaking to some of your guests. Whenever you're prepared, just let me
Okay.
know."
So it's what, like 7:30 at this point because we started at 5. So we can start wrapping it up at any time. I look at Colovian and I'm like, start the cleanup, dear.
Yeah, she kind of gets started on on cleaning
And
stuff
that
up.
should
She
give
just
most of the
nods.
guests
Yeah,
that it's about that time.
yeah,
And, I'll give them personal goodbyes. Thank you for
yeah,
coming. I hope we all gain from tonight. Thank you for coming. Uh,
yeah.
Silver Soul, it's always wonderful to see you.
And he kind of he chuckles. He says, "This may well have been a rather beneficial night indeed in terms of business. I look forward to
Yeah,
getting the mall open and being able to run a bit more infrastructure through here. It's a
I'm ready
rather
for the mall to be open too. Once it is, it'll be off.
you cut out.
How about now?
There you are.
I said, I'm ready for the mall to be open as well because once it's open, it'll be off my plate and I'll have something else I can worry about.
He goes, uh, uh, damn it. He says, he says, such a great location considering some of the current events. It's almost like somebody knew something. And he kind of winks at you, and he kind of, as he makes his leave. Um, and I think pretty much everybody like gives the sort of goodbye. Nothing particularly special.
When,
Um, you
God,
Kib, you notice that Quentin Malone is just openly unfriendly to you. He's more polite to Dr. Kurad and to Philip, but you know, he's openly unfriendly to you. Well,
I just wave at him. I'm just
yeah,
like, he gives me that weird. They're giving me that weird look, and I'm still like, "What are you doing?"
he's one of the ones there that told you to get lost. He didn't
Yeah,
want to talk to you. It's like, uh, I think he's perceptive enough to figure it out that most of the business is handled by the other two. Like, it's like,
yeah.
in fucking, he,
yeah,
but
if
yeah,
Kib is handling business, we're trying to intentionally get something. Be like, you know what? It's just not worth it.
Yep.
you, we're sabotaging the negotiations if we send him in.
Yep.
At least at
Um,
this point, maybe Kib will, get more diplomatic with time. He is hanging out, but
I
I
do
doubt
want
it.
to give before everybody clears out. I do want to give I do want to give Millicent and AL a chance to. Is there anybody in particular you guys are trying to like you want to talk to first or talk to at the moment?
So We're at the closing of the party, right?
Yeah, like this would be a good time to make introductions and try to set up meetings and stuff.
Ah,
If you were looking to extend connections and what have you,
yeah.
and you have
Well,
been tasked with finding secure lines of getting shit to get,
yeah.
supplies and stuff.
Well,
And Captain
at the
Worthy was a
mention of
suggestion from us because he keeps good time of coming back and forth, and he's basically loved by most of the system.
gotcha. Well, of course, Millsaps, if he were to hear about Gibbs' problems with diplomacy, he would, of course, offer his skills in that regard as well.
Hmm.
If you needed to handle any negotiations.
Maybe I just tell people that's supposed to go there, and the switch works this way, and that connects there, and then they figure it out.
Kurad and I can always use another hand with. While we manage to get lucky off, sometimes even I put my foot in my mouth. Hard.
Yeah. And of course, I can also work with the computer systems fairly easily. And if you need any tech work done, you can contact Millicent as well.
Hmm. And
Right.
because your android is also a bodyguard, that means that you have someone to help if we have to go planet side to look for supplies ourselves.
Yeah.
It
Especially if
is
it's
a rich
something that
system as far as it goes.
Yeah. I did build this character as kind of like a lore hound, just a wide range of knowledges and, a whole
Then
bunch of
you'll fit in
utility.
perfectly with this group.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But yeah, as far as it goes, occasionally we do have to leave to go get stuff because we are far enough out in the frontier that sometimes that's just easier. Um, there is a synthesis bay where, because basically there's no one to tell me I can't, we occasionally create drugs. Both the good kind and the super good kind.
So the Yayo and then the Super Yayo.
Well, I was talking about like med packs,
Oh, okay.
but
Can I try
there's
to
drugs in the system too.
can I try
And
to fix
but
the
yes,
light
there's
from
other things that we do have the materials to make and do.
Or
Go ahead, sir.
what were you saying,
I
AL?
was saying I wanted to inspect the light and tinker with it and see if I can get it to go the other way. Just just to see how it's working the way it is and see what happens
What are
when I
you gonna
tinker
tinker
with it.
with?
The
What are you?
the light system, how it's like opposite.
Oh, light
Oh,
system.
Yeah.
that's
I
great. You're
did
turning
just
on and
think of
off the switch
something.
while we're talking. That's awesome.
I did think
Yeah.
of something that was just perfect when you mentioned drugs, though. If we were able to get a manufacturing thing up, I have connections. We could, potentially use inroads with some shadier people in order to get a little bit of extra revenue running.
And you are more than willing to use those facilities to do such things.
Excellent.
At this point, it's basically you apply for the time slot, and if it's available, you get the time slot and you do what you need to do there.
All right.
You are official employees. Well, you're their employees. You're official people on board now. You did meet
You have
Nimbus. He's a little much
special,
too.
yeah. Ninvis, you could tell kind of had to hold back his. There was a human with a data pad, and you kind of tell that could tell that he was super excited, but Crenville had obviously told him to keep his shit together because fucking
You just shut up.
yeah, he was like, uh, he was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. But Crenville obviously was just like gave him a glance and was just like, when you guys got there, like, um, but yeah, um, yeah. So you guys kind of have like everybody sort of filing out and what have you. is sort of filing out and whatnot. Do you guys have any? You guys like any final business here?
I turned to Millsaps and like, Master, how are you liking the company that we are keeping? What's your
I
thoughts?
dare say I enjoy the company we're keeping.
Is there anyone in particular you want me to keep an eye on?
The captain.
Absolutely.
Councilwoman. But either way.
Um, yeah. Would you guys like,
What?
if you guys have any ranks in culture, you could also use that to gather information, see what you can learn about the place
Oh
and
yeah.
Oh,
We
you know,
didn't tell
assist.
them about the boards.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I could do that.
If you have a rank in culture, you can actually try that.
I think I actually have it as a 4 rank.
Yeah.
If my character sheet will load.
Yes. Isn't it lovely how Roll20 is like, nope. Yay.
So AL got a 21. So,
1 second.
all
Sometimes when
right.
I click edit and then save changes, sometimes works. Okay. Well, I was able to get it to do that at least. Culture. Yep.
All right.
there you go.
So
Nice.
things that you guys kind of learn, and pick up on conversation and stuff, you know, sort of mingling as you go out the door and whatnot. First of all, you already knew this station had been used by pirates before, you know, a group of space pirates before the syndicate took it over and then handed it over to this Lichtam Incorporated as a favor to, you know, as a favor to somebody for ISIG and whatnot. ISIG paying some favor back or whatever. Um, but you're now that you're in system, you're sort of learning a couple of things. First of all, you've kind of learned who the players are. Zerk Silver Soul, the elf, appears to be is the representative for the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company. Millicept, you are aware that the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company is more than just a trading company. There is a lot of rumors that they have a great deal of sway over media, and they appear to be a moderately successful galactic tea trading company, but they in fact are own stake in and own a lot of different corporations. Like they're far richer than they ever put a profit margin up for. Their wealth comes in the ownership of other profitable ventures, many of which are rumored to be media outlets. There's also rumors that they are probably one of the best information networks one could find. Um, they are, in fact, you know, there's, you know, maybe you have heard probably through the grapevine with the syndicate that the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company is they know a lot of shit. Like they have agents, their agents are just, you know, are everywhere. Like some of them are pretty, you can guess, you know, to some
Are
extent
any of
because
them
they, huh?
at this party? Are any of them at this party?
Zerk Silversoul is a representative for the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company. So him or anybody working for him is connected to this is connected, you know, probably has a lot of info, the ability to gain a lot of intel. They're also pretty pricey and cagey too. So, you know, they're the kind of people that the most powerful would call to gain dirt on the other most powerful. Um, outward, their public facing is they're just this modest trading company that, you know, focuses on a very traditional way of doing business, but you know, they're masters of information. You're pretty sure on that. Um, AL, both you and Millicept know that the Gemfish Trading Consortium, they're pretty new. They're trying to angle for markets against the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company. How much they do or don't know about the true nature of the Paper Leaf Tea Trading Company is something of up in the air. Nobody's quite sure if they realize what they're actually up against, or if they just think they're, up against like markets as
Moderate.
far as like retail and stuff. But they don't. There's no but Valen Sewer, the human, in the party is unquestionably their agent here. You find out that there is a war heating up now between two empires, the Girin Empire and the Velquin Empire. The Velquin Empire actually has a representative here named Quentin Balloon, who is a Shadow Fae. You saw him talking. He was the one who you saw him talking with Philip a couple of times. There's and of course you already kind of know Sestra, who is attached to a mercenary company called the Accord. You heard about her before you got here.
Yeah, she's expensive too.
there there is an uneasy relationship uh, between the syndicate and the Accord, but at the very least a polite one, uneasy but polite. And sort of
Okay.
those are the major players in the room. Like this
So,
Dr. Oglehop has already been explained to you in character, but um,
okay, so do you mind if I make a few moves real quick?
sure.
Okay,
Yes.
directed towards Al. Hey, Al, could you do a little bit of digging up on the company that is trying to rival the tea company?
If that is what you wish.
The Jim Fish. Yeah.
Yeah. Get some info on the Gymfish. I want to know what their actual ideas are and what they know about the tea trading company. I'm gonna go over and introduce myself to the what's her name?
Um, who
The
exactly?
elf. The
The
elf.
elf? Oh, Zerk. Zerk is a male elf. He
Oh,
appears to be
male elf. Okay.
unlike unlike most of the elves you've seen come out of the Pact Worlds. He doesn't wear a mask around non-elves, which
Oh,
means he's he's not like a lot of the elves you'd meet in the Pact Worlds.
so he's not snooty,
Yeah, he's not a
essentially.
snooty bastard. He he's wearing a relatively nice suit, if a bit exotic. It's got some fur trim here and there, and he looks like the kind of guy who spent some time in the field. Uh, he wears blades that seem to have weird grooves in them, that attach to his hip. Um, and he's got his hair is like a bright shade of blue, and he wears it up in a top knot, and he's got like multiple earrings in. And he kind of turns around, he looks at you, and he's like, "Ah," he goes, "I don't believe we've met. I'm Zerk Silversoul, Paperleaf Tea Trading Company. You probably won't read about us in the credits and credentials.
Oh, I know quite a bit about your company, sir. I'm a great admirer of your work. Let's
Oh,
see.
ah, then you know your teas." And he smiles.
Oh yes, I know all about tea.
he goes, he goes, "And your name is?"
My name is Millicent. Let's just say I'm the new management for the casino.
I've been wondering when that thing was going to open. I
Yeah,
heard there were some delays in the Pact Worlds.
yeah, we would love to see you there. Hey, off the cuff, what's your favorite drink?
Mm, there's so many of them. But generally speaking, if I'm going to be very serious, and don't tell anybody I told you this, but I rather like some good old-fashioned Starship hooch. The kind that they sometimes brew that sometimes an engineer will brew on a starship, use some of the, you know, leak off radiation from the power core in the fermenting
Yeah,
process.
to cook
Oh,
the ingredients and
oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
See, when it's done right, it's absolutely hits like a freight train and it works wonders. When it's done wrong, it just tastes bad and it's not a good time either. So, there's an art form to it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I
But on
think
the
we can
record,
accommodate.
I prefer a nice cocktail. The more exotic, the better.
Okay, I think I understand. We'll have something set up for you at the casino.
He smiles. He says, he says, we'll be putting in we'll be putting in some infrastructure here when the management is able to make the space and get all of the building done and what have you. Perhaps we'll be seeing you. Perhaps we'll see you in our shop sometime. Yes,
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll see you at the casino.
we have a. I'll let you. He says, if you'd care to give me your comms number, I'll let you know when we get when we get particularly good batches in. I'm afraid some of things are a bit rare at the moment, but supply and demand. Some things can be rather costly, what have you, but
Of course.
I can generally get some of the best that we've got.
Excellent. And I noticed a couple of people there over there trying to move in on some of your profits. I just want you to rest assured that I'm not going to let anything happen to you when you're on this ship.
He chuckles. He says, "Oh, the gem fish? Well, we'll just my professional. We'll just say that I look forward to the challenge they present. I'm not the type to bemoan competition. I'm the type to be very interested in what they bring to the table and have to offer. After all, you can't win the market share if you don't know the competition, yes?"
Yes.
Mm, He goes, but this is all about, but this is all, uh,
About tea and profits, of course. Yes.
yes, exactly. He goes, this is all
Diplomacy check.
business. Yeah, this is all business, as we,
Diplomacy check.
yeah, he's like, oh yeah. So he's like, yeah, this is, he says,
Yeah.
I, yeah, he says, I look forward to seeing you around the station. Hopefully, once my duties have got me to a bit of a uh, more set up to make more formal arrangements and what have you. Perhaps I'll be in touch. He says, and he kind of nods.
I nod back and I shoot him my comms number telepathically.
All right, yeah, he doesn't seem particularly surprised at this. He just kind of like he nods, um, and puts it into his comm unit. Uh, and says, if you'll, he says, if you'll excuse me, I've a few ship captains I need to talk to.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I'd like to look for a place to gather information via hacking.
Well, you have a computer in your office.
Okay, cool. That's where I go then.
All right.
We'll be
And
right
Kib
back. I gotta
has
go to the
created
bathroom.
as much.
You cut out there.
Oh, I said Kib has created an infosphere with as much information as possible. So that's what we have, unfortunately.
Yeah. Um.
But
Yeah.
we're learning more every day.
You can obviously, go back to your offices and use the computers there
What
because
about
they're installed.
personal data pads? Could I possibly just pickpocket someone, find a way to hack their data pad, and then reinsert it into their pocket?
Hmm. Let me see here.
I don't know what's involved in that. I know I have like the hacking toolkit, but I don't know like if I need anything additional to it. So that's what I'm asking.
Do you? Let's see. I
Jeez.
will need to look at the skills here. And you look at sleight of hand and see what it says about that.
And if that's the case, I'd be using the conversation as a distraction for anyone that's around him, probably.
Home object, pickpocket. Uh, where am? There am. I need my glasses. Come on. All right.
Good sleight of hand.
I don't want to
Jinkies.
shatter anybody's like like imaginary image that I'm not that old, but I'm getting there. Let's see. DC. Okay. Well, give me a sleight of hand check to see if you can pick a pocket. That is not enough.
No.
Shit.
Oh, why did your hand in my pocket, man?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Wow.
Let me see if somebody noticed. Let's see. Damn. Yeah, that's a pretty good chance. Yeah, just exactly. I think what happens is you go to reach for as you go to reach into and whose pocket were you trying to pick anyway?
I mean, who's around the conversation that that Millicent and Silver is
Silver
having?
Soul?
Yeah, Silver Soul.
Um, probably probably just the two of them at that point, I would imagine. Because it's one of those things where everybody kind of rolls off to go talk to somebody else for a minute, and
So
then
he
when
doesn't have
they're
like an
taken over,
entourage.
no, he didn't have like an entourage.
Okay. Yeah, it would have to be him.
Yeah, I think like you go
And
to like
did it help at all that he was in the middle of a conversation for any of that?
no.
Okay.
I think before your hand even gets close to his pocket, like his hand reaches back, his hand goes back more swiftly than you would have thought possible and smacks your hand away. And he doesn't even look at you when he does it. He just like, it's like it's like he had a sixth sense that it was there. And he just kind of goes like he felt like he could sense something was reaching towards his pocket. Um,
Hmm. Right. So, yeah, no, I guess I leave the room empty-handed, and when I'm talking to, I'll see you back.
Yeah.
So they're like, Master, I failed you again. I'm sorry. Please don't throw me out with the trash.
Nah, we're just gonna have to tune you up a little bit more.
Not again. Not like that, please. No.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
send you to the mechanic in the morning. Anyway.
So just
I've
to make
done
sure you guys
mostly
have left the room at the moment.
Yeah, we'd probably be out of the room at
Yeah,
this
we
point. Yeah.
probably had left the room at that point.
Yeah.
Cross
Good.
your words. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
All right.
After they leave, I look at Kurad and I'm like, Kurad, we have a problem. But
You don't say.
they're Isaac's people, which makes it a little bit more annoying.
Hmm.
We'll have to talk to the androids. Is that what you said? Something about two personalities or something?
I think there's 3 in that one.
Hmm. Okay. But yeah, we'll have to talk to each of them and see how they feel about all this. Apparently, at least one of them is overly, what's the word? Institutionalized to the idea. But maybe the other two don't like being mastered. Anyway, we'll get to that when we can. Now that
Mhm.
everyone is starting to leave, I think it's time to tell Isaac that it's time to go to ops, where we can at least have some possibility.
All right, so we'll we can jump to ops
Well,
real quick.
unless, do you guys have any other scenes you want to do before we do the scene?
I mean,
No.
what do you? I actually there is one thing.
Hey,
AL will be tuning up the security system in the casino.
okay.
And
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm
wants
just
to.
mostly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just mostly going to basically coach how things are going to run on the casino floor. Uh,
Okay.
shift changes, all that kind of stuff, all the management
Is
stuff.
Yeah. So
is
you
there
got
an
like
A,
a employee meeting.
is
Yeah.
there an
Nice.
AI system for the floor of the casino?
Not yet.
No, no.
Okay.
There's um and as far as looking up the Gemfish Trade Consortium, really, unless they've security locked you out, in which case you get even less. All you kind of get is what they know is that the Gemfish Trade Consortium seems to be relatively new. They seem to be trying to be a direct competition for the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company for what in at least in this market for whatever reason. Um, it seems like it seems like there's probably like uh, you'd guess that the Valen Sor, the human like representative for them, didn't particularly care for the competition. Like they both seem to see the competition a little bit differently. Um, but outside of that, there's not much that's really been known. That's not much currently really well known about Gemfish.
Okay.
Um,
Does it have a CEO's name or anything like that, or any
no, they
any
don't.
representatives
Yeah.
on station?
Well, the representative they have on station is Valen Sor.
Isn't like Tea Tree like it acts like a family owned business almost?
The Paperleaf
Teach.
Tea Trading
Yeah.
Company.
Yeah, yeah.
They act like they operate on traditional business values. They're not necessarily run by. They seem to be run by sort of like a board of directors, like a what have you, like a board of sorts. But the like the members that are on it, um, the members that are on it, like they are like their information about them is very private, and nobody on the station knows anything about them, except for
Okay.
maybe Zurich, and that's depending on how where he fits in the chain. I mean, he's at least being set up as some sort of regional manager, but doesn't necessarily know he knows much about the top
Yeah.
end. Um,
Yeah. Just so you know, the Paperleaf is pre-gap business, so like they came back into it knowing nothing and started over.
Mm. So the next thing is, what do we have available in terms of like a security system in the casino that I am currently messing with?
Well, basically, you have your cameras, which will allow you to see wherever you need to see. Like you have cameras above the bars, camera above like all the gaming tables. You have cameras on any doors leading to staff areas, sort of back. There's you have like there are cameras in most of the places where people work, and definitely all the places where people are going to be, frequenting as customers. Um, you also have a small, staff of security guys. They're not, you know, they're effectively good for throwing out, nobodies, anybody like the more dangerous pirates and the more dangerous like personalities are probably going to be too much for them to handle. But like your general unruly patron that is, just sort of a nobody, you can probably count on them to be able to kick out. You've also got like um a personal like comm system that is wired between the your security personnel and yourself, like earpieces or whatever. um so that's kind of what you've got for security system at the moment.
Okay. And what about is there anything cosmetically fake about the casino, or is it all like actual materials?
No, it's actual materials. It's
Okay.
all built, um there's like the way it's structured and set up is it's very business-like, very professional, very clean, um, kind of what you would expect from a syndicate operation. Like you'd never know it's a front for criminal activity.
Hey, there is one more thing I forgot to do
What's that?
before the casino's opening tonight, right?
It opens when you guys say it opens,
Okay. So,
because you're the management.
yeah. Uh,
Technically, it
well,
could wait till next week.
yeah.
If you guys were ready to do it, like want to make it a bigger thing and whatnot, we can do it next week. But you can do it this week too if you want. It's up to you.
Okay. JJ, how do you feel? I I kind of feel like we
Um,
should hold off. That way we can make sure that everything's ready.
sure. We could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
There
it'll
is
be
one
next
thing.
week, but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll. I definitely in 2 weeks we could definitely do that.
One thing I definitely want to do is I want to find the rowdiest group of space pirates that are currently on the station and organize for their engineer to make that space hooch for the gold tea leaf guy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a mage use illusion magic in order to make it appear as a fruity cocktail.
See, you find a down dirty space pirate to make you some space hooch, and then
Yeah.
disguise it as a
And then we're
nice,
going to put it in a
awesome.
nice bottle, and it's going to have like a little attachment at the bottom. I would, of course, clear this with the boss man for the
Okay.
funding for all this, but attach like a nice little gadget to the bottom of it, kind of like as a stem, but it would make an illusion out of the glass that would basically make it appear as a fruity liquid being poured in and out.
Okay.
If that's at all possible, I'm not quite sure.
Well, the hooch is no problem. Finding a bottle that has the illusion on it, you could potentially get somebody to cast one on it, an illusion on it right before you
Okay,
hand it to him.
that'll be
But if you
fine.
want one that just does it, that you can just have, that just can sit on ice until you're ready, that might take a little more doing.
Okay. Uh,
Master, I do think it'd be worth it to also look into once we acquire the funds for it. A virtual assistant to help with the management of security while we're away.
yeah, I think that'd be wise as well. Also, I need to go to my office real quick. Who was the leader of that fish people fuckery?
The gemfish,
The gemfish
Val,
people, yeah.
Gemfish?
well, their agent is Valen Sewer.
Valen Sewer. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to look into him. And after that, my character's going to go back to his office, and I'm just going to roll a quick computers check to hack into the system and pull up any dirt I can on it.
Well, see, here's the issue you're going to run into is the infosphere here is not connected to an infosphere anywhere else because the internet doesn't connect all points of the galaxy. So what they have available on this station for information is what they have. And really they don't have much on Valen Sewer. Like it's the like you I mean
Can I
uh
can I go into chat logs or anything like that? Phone calls that he's made, outgoing transmissions, or anything like that?
Kib, what's your max? If you rolled a 20, what's your computers?
Would be 33.
Okay. I just wanted you to have a DC, sir.
well,
Okay. All right. Well, I can't beat that on a nat 20, so.
yeah. Basically it's there's just not much to know that about Valen Sewer right now. Like you can if
So
you want
we're
to find out
basically
more
on a
about
large LAN connection, is basically what you're saying.
right.
Yeah.
Basically, the way it works is the internet, or infosphere, if you will, is individual to each planet. There's no system-wide infosphere.
So,
Um,
Yet, I'm working
Master,
on it.
Master, basically, if we want our information, we'll have to get it off their person.
well, you could
Unless magic.
well, there's always you're running a casino which has a bar in it, a bar attached to it. You could always attempt to ask traders and stuff what they know. Once you open the place, you can try to
Yeah.
gather information because not everybody stays on the station, and some of them know shit from outside of.
Okay.
Um,
Cool. 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 Cool.
like you do, however, and I probably forgot to mention this earlier, but should have mentioned this earlier. One thing of note that while the Velquin Empire is an empire of shadow people, and their representative Quentin Maloon is a shadow fae in his own right, the Girin Empire is a human empire, and they are super racist, and they create androids as slave labor. Like they're all
Master,
about enslavement of androids.
Master, if I may, we are running a casino, so in theory, all we need to do is put enough vices in here, and the dirt will just fall out.
Well, yes, but I was hoping things would be a little bit more advanced around here. It looks like
This is the Wild Wild West.
I'm
yeah,
Right.
working on it. Give
Well,
me time. I need the materials, and I
no
can make it
problem.
better.
Well, there's two things. There's two things. Like infosphere, galactic-wide or your system-wide infosphere doesn't even exist in Starfinder at all. So that
We're
mechanically,
hoping.
this is this is not a thing where it
Yeah.
currently exists.
No, that's why
But
I asked if it was at all possible.
right, the as and with this station, they're still relatively new and gaining information. So they're it's what you can learn on the station from computers is going to be a lot more limited than what you can learn on the station from travelers going through the station.
Well, if you want to
Um,
know basic skills, we just recently had Kib scan a whole bunch of books into the system.
Yeah, and religious texts, and there's some cool novels in there too.
Anything,
Just random
anything he
novels.
thought was important, he scanned into the system. So we just dang near doubled our information.
By the way,
Okay.
I
There's
also would
erotic
like
novels.
to rewire the security system. I imagine that there's a stage somewhere in this casino for entertainment, and I would like to
yeah.
wire if at all they have pyrokinetics for the stuff to the alarm system.
Oh, that's
Um,
funny.
all right. Well, give me a engineering or give me an engineering check for that.
See engineering. I'm doing terrible. Holy shit,
You
it's
are.
red.
Oh my god. Yeah,
So
you
I
are.
think I did a great job, and I think there might be actual explosions, is what I would say. I'm joking.
Yes, I would
Oh,
definitely say you set off the pyrotechnics.
yeah. There's a minor fire that has to be dealt with. Um, you like Millicept, you probably are in the office when the fire alarm goes off because Ale has set off the pyrotechnics on the
I'm
stage.
going to rush out and just be like, Al, what the hell did you do?
Mm. Right about that time, the sprinklers go off.
Yeah.
Well, you must know. I was planning to use the pyrokinetics to draw the whoever is, trying to, steal from us towards the doors, which hopefully will be closed and locked when they try to run that
Wait,
direction.
who is
on
trying to
stage.
steal from us?
It's for future thefts.
Then why did you trigger them?
I'm sorry, I failed again, and
You know what? You look tired. I don't know if androids can get tired. I don't think they can, but you look tired.
I can.
They can.
They can absolutely get tired. Uh,
Take
yeah.
take a break. Take five. Take five. I got it.
okay. You're so kind. You're so kind.
I'm going to just dial up engineering and try to get somebody down here that knows what they're doing.
Mm.
Yeah.
In the
Um,
background, you hear.
right.
I'm at least going to go into the system for the casino and shut
Like,
off the damn alarm.
Crenville suddenly shows up.
Grenville probably does make it back. He's probably like, or he probably calms his friend. He probably calms you from operations. He's like, what's why is the fire alarm going off in the
Al
casino?
Al triggered the pyrotechnics. I'm getting an actual engineer down here as we speak to kind of fix the problem.
Hey.
I think something might have fried. There was a minor fire somewhere. I still smell burning. I mean, there still could be a fire, but the fire is obviously going to be gone with the sprinkler system.
Oh, I
Gone.
did it again, didn't
But
I? You hear
this
in the
means
background.
that we're going to need to clean the entire place up.
I uh, I'll leave it to you then. And he kind of
Yeah,
like he kind of like uh calms us out.
yeah.
Crinville's
Maybe
gonna
this
kill us in the background.
may,
No, he's not going to kill us. There is no us in that equation.
the,
He's gonna know.
maybe
He
there's a
already does know.
That's even worse.
It's Hannibal.
I I think this is a pretty good transition to like maybe we get like the jump cut over to like Crenville having just hung up, like just doing a slow face palm while like shaking his head. And then we see like the rest of you like sort of walk up into ops. We see like Fellup and Kib and Kurad and Isig and Ulther all walk up into like coming into ops. Um, and there's and head towards the office. And Crenville pretty much like he greets you guys at the office door, like opens it from the inside. It's like he's like he goes he's like he goes full house I guess, huh? And Isaac is like, we have the business I had spoken to you about before to discuss. And he's like, oh, okay, okay, all right. He's like, and he kind of sits down, like he kind of takes a seat on the other side of the office. It's like, lets everybody get it while everybody else gets situated.
Kid, you sit in the chair.
Okay. All right. I'll take notes.
Isig is
Actually, before you take notes, go ahead and do what we normally do to make the room as private as possible.
Oh, yeah. Sure. That, and that's connected. Yeah, it's good.
Here.
yeah. There's a like Isig is like looks at Ulthar and goes, will you watch the door? No
Oh.
one in or out. No one. And Ulthar just nods. And he goes, so you've made great headway. I understand you even took out a group of criminals that were already in the system. Had a bit of small spread.
I start giggling when like. So we had a friend when we actually found their base that was with us, and he scared them so badly they destroyed the entire base based off a lie.
Interesting friends you have. Uh, Rather like it. Shows you know where to find talent to help in the sticky situations.
We were quite lucky indeed.
I have
Go ahead.
I have a couple of questions, however. And and this is a bit of a, well, this is quasi-professional, quasi-personal. I've heard there is an organization called the Amber Wreath out here. Do you know about them?
Decadence, snobs, um, lots and lots of money. Um, they basically, when they showed up for the first big meeting, told us we were trash and then left. They hang out with ooh, she's such a polite and sweet woman. What is her name? Um, she likes to wear the fancy gowns, Parad. Has the drawl that happens sometimes. Bettina, is that her name? Bettina Klimlin.
Hmm. I had a chance to meet Bettina Clemlin once or twice. She doesn't strike me as the type to go in for decadence. And usually far too
Oh,
more business like than that.
kid, bring up the commercial.
Okay. Three buttons. Yeah.
Yeah, and it plays the whole spiel about about you know like fall unfettered into the depths of passion. Know know the what was it? Know the pleasure that you deserve. Isn't it time that you said, I deserve this? The Amber Wreath. like, and it's like, and he kind of watches it and he goes, hmm.
Yeah, even if they hadn't told us we were already annoyed. Like, oh, those kind of beings. Hmm.
I know a good scam when I see one, and that seems like a fairly good scam. I'd like to know more about it. And he says, any information you could provide us about the Amber Wreath would be, well, very well received. Rewarded as well.
I
There's
see. I'll see what we can do.
But there is another matter that I wanted to discuss with you all. Well, it presumes a bit, but There is an offer I'm willing to make here, or rather the syndicate is willing to make. On my recommendation, granted. You can take it for what you will, since you are seeming to be a bit established here. The Lichdom Incorporated is making a name for itself, and the Grimbuckle Syndicate would like to offer a place for a representative of your choosing as a member of the council, of the Grim Council. You can choose to take the offer. It would
Isn't that what your
require.
brother is doing already?
No, he's a liaison. He's not a part of the Grim Council. I am. He is not.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
He's a well respected and very well placed, given his familial connection and, well, quite frankly, his competence in most directions. And Crinville kind of nods. He's like, he's like, but he's not a formal member of the Grim Council.
Hmm.
This would offer a position for a representative of your choosing on the Grim Council. You'll still, of course, have your autonomy as the Lichdom Incorporated. But what have you, you'll still be able to, and he says you'll still be able to leverage you'll still be granted the support that we've been providing so far. However, if whether you say yes or no, if you say yes and decide that you wish to put somebody on the Grim Council among your ruling body, you will be there will be the benefits of having greater sway within the organization and probably a bit greater backing as well. You'll be able to call upon a bit more resources. It'll also be formalized that any Grimbuckle operations syndicate operations that happen within your territory would have to be gone through you. Any agents would have to announce themselves and their business with you. He says, it would ensure that you know exactly what the syndicate is doing here. You will be effectively running the syndicate's greater interests in the region instead of simply being a station that the Grimbuckle houses its operations from. It says you'll have a greater say in that, and syndicate operatives will have to announce themselves, and you might be able to from time to time avail yourself of syndicate agents, depending on the need and the favor. There will be there is some formal ceremony that will require your chosen representative to travel to undisclosed locations. Precautions will be taken. A formal ceremony to induct you into the syndicate's ruling council. And occasionally you will be asked and or required to attend official business meetings.
Hmm. What do you think, Ed?
I think it would be lucrative, that's for sure.
Kid?
So fun. Could be entertaining. Could not be. I don't know. I'm
And
a
you want
very
us?
diplomatic person. I mean, I'm not good with that. I'm not sure. Sounds fun. Let's do it. I don't know.
And I said you want us to for us, or it needs to be one of us.
Has to be one of you. It you, with your family's history, would hold the greatest sway in terms of influence, but but either of your chosen representatives would work as well if so needed.
Hmm. Brad, do you want to do this?
Politics normally is not my thing.
Okay. So long as you're okay with me doing it, then I'm fine with it, I guess. Kib, well, I think you would be great at it. I don't think they can handle how awesome you are at diplomacy.
That's what I was thinking. That's a good call. Yeah, totally would be able to handle you. Yeah. Yeah. Completely.
Well, then apparently I think we have much to plan, don't we?
Indeed. 'Cause, you'll have some time to prepare. I will send you the details as soon as I'm able to arrange as much. You'll I would tell you you need to dress nicely, but you already have impeccable taste. Says, bear in mind, when you go, the ceremony will be there will be a formal ceremony, but the syndicate themselves, the individual members, you'll need to make sure that you handle them with a certain amount of care. This is Some of them are for this move, a few of them are against. The votes carried it in your favor this time.
That's
You'll
nice.
need to you'll need to win a few friends you'll need to win a few friends, but it doesn't seem to have been a problem for you out here. Imagine you should be able to win a few friends amongst those who have more flexible morals.
Hmm. Well, between Cora and myself, we normally do pretty good at it.
This
Though he
is
is more bluntly honest than he needs to be sometimes.
Crinville will remain as a liaison. He'll
Oh, I
still
would hate to lose him. He's been with us for over a year now.
Crinville kind of nods. He says he knows the people, he knows the staff, he knows the environment. He'll be able to take care of most of the Grimbuckle's basic operations here and what have you. Anything more specialized, and of course, uh, he will function as your advisor
Right.
within the
And he'll
syndicate.
make sure you're kept up to date on anything that's going
Absolutely.
on.
He says, and I do hope that our new management for the casino works out well. They come recommended.
Mm.
They've done a few jobs in the past for Crinville and I, and they've worked out rather well in the past. This is they'll they'll be taking the headache of the casino off of Crinville's hands, and certainly you shouldn't have to worry too much about it.
Yeah,
It's,
I have reservations about your people, though.
uh,
Well, we have reservations about it.
I don't. Well, I do. But I. No. There you go. They're cool.
I'm sure you'll find a way to work such issues out.
I
Yeah.
He says I'll be sending communications and whatnot. You'll uh you'll need to be taking a trip with me on the Malcontent Miss Depot for this for the uh for the official ceremonies and what have you. I trust Dr. Curad and Mr. Kibb can handle the station.
Oh, yes. Uh,
You cut off.
always. Really?
Yeah,
How about now?
there you are.
Sorry. Kurat has proven that he can handle the station by himself. But, and Defron just happens to come in with, no, he can't come in. Damn it. Forget it. Anyway, we
Yeah,
have a support staff now.
Defron
Yeah.
tries to come in. We get the cutscene. Defron tries to come in, and Ulthar is standing right there. And being a Vesk, he starts to try to push his way through. But Ulthar just puts one fucking paw out, looks down at him, and gives a slight growl. And there's a
Mm.
slight growl back, and the two of them look at each other. And he's like and he goes, and Defron kind of like maybe there's a little bit of a standoff out there going on while you guys are in there talking.
Yeah, and that's completely my bad because I forgot that
Yeah,
I was told no one in. So,
yeah.
but anyway,
Thank
so sleep well tonight. We'll talk more tomorrow. And thank you for this opportunity.
One last thing. Keep our interest in the Amber Wreath, the syndicate's interest in the Amber Wreath under wraps. It would be best if you don't spread much of anything anything we've talked about here around at this point.
Mm.
Give it time before you make any big announcements.
Of course.
This is And I will bid you a good night, and I will allow you to return to your business. I'm sure you're very busy.
Never too busy for good company, but yes, always.
Uh, all right. I think this is probably a good place to wrap up. We've got a bunch of
Could
Yeah.
I
things set up for next
do a
week.
little scene to wrap things up as my character gets ready for bed?
Sure.
So you see Al in a bedroom, seemingly like kind of covering someone like to go to bed. And when it zooms out, you see a stuffed bear and a stuffed Black Panther.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah, no, just quietly does that, and then just leaves the room, closes the door, turns the light off, and then goes into Milset's room and goes into sleep mode.
Awesome. I
The
love it.
room that's dedicated to AL isn't even being used. It's just it has a stuffed bear and a Black Panther. So there's still a little bit of whatever AL was in a different like before this time that still kind of exists somewhere in there.
Right. Nice. Awesome. Well, everybody go ahead and start sending me your Player's Choice Awards. And who you thought did the best job for role playing, or whoever gave you brought you into the moment the most for tonight. And let's start doing some sign-offs. And who wants to go first?
Gentlemen, you're the newest. You guys can go first. Fight for goes first.
This is
I
Rogue.
was honestly going to go for.
The vote I
I'm
think
sorry,
is
I'm-
private. You just send it to
Oh.
to Justa. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, you were saying JJ?
So this is Rogue Great Fox. I now also go as Roguish Brew. Yeah, no, I'm kind of on YouTube right now, mostly streaming. It's not really it's more for me. I kind of make like a little transcript, and now I copy paste it into a little AI thing, and then it makes notes for me. It's kind of, I'm just getting a little lazy here. But other than that, I still it's all me. It's just I'm just using it to help organize my thoughts. And if you want to check that out, feel free. We're doing Embers of Uruk next week, and then I think I should be back here in 2 weeks, and then we will be doing a 3 week thing of Uruk before we go on to Tales of Majima, ran by Hoster.
It's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I
We like
still
to not burn out.
right. So I still need
It's
All right,
there.
Players' Choice Awards
sorry, let me
from.
get mine in.
There we go.
Sorry. I'm just trying to remember names.
There you go. Got mine.
What and yeah.
Also, I love how they had problems remembering gemfish, just like I did forever.
I think that's how it's spelled. I don't know.
Alright,
I have a
so-
really bad short-term memory. Yeah.
So who's next?
Has to.
I sent it in.
All right.
No, you're
sign
sign
off.
off.
Sign off.
Sign off.
Oh,
Who you are,
yeah.
all that
I'm
stuff.
Hester. I run Tales of Najima over on Ravastia and other more macabre games. Sometimes, but not always. Yeah. It's always a pleasure to play with a pair of dice as well.
Awesome. Next up.
Okay. I'm Scott. I played Kib, and Kib's cool. I love this character. It's fun. What else am I in? Let's see, Saturday, I'm in Lands of Ibaria as everybody's lovable cat that everybody loves, has no problems with whatsoever.
Right.
That's what he believes. I'm also on Sunday. I'm the GM of the Doctor Who season 2 thing, and we'll get back into that and figure out what everybody's doing after that and have fun with that. And my brain just went everywhere, and I think I'm done now. Okay.
Yeah, it's almost midnight here, so the cogs are starting to slow down a bit.
Yeah.
Next up.
Yeah.
Hi. Tonight, I played Philip Defoe, and this is my only game that I do, but I have a lot of fun with it. I cause a lot of chaos for the Jesta, and for the most part, even though we argue about it, it's still lots of fun. So that's why we keep doing it. And that's all for me.
Awesome.
I think that leaves Brian and Jesta.
Yeah, so I'll go next. I'm Brian C. I play Curad tonight. Yeah, a little bit more of a political scene, which is not his thing, but hey, we'll get to it. You can find me on Saturdays running the lands of Ibaria, where yes, Psychopathic is the curious cat that we're going to make a cat carrier for to keep him out of trouble. But besides that, they are about to go in and fight a red dragon, but they got to get past all his forest drakes first. So we'll see how that goes, and that'll be this Saturday. And on Sundays, I play Lamar, who used to be Lamara. You know, changing genders is a thing in Doctor Who. It happens. Soul's regeneration. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get back to that this week. And that is it for me.
All right. Brings it back to me. So the Player's Choice Award tonight was a split decision between Millicept and AL. So give each of your characters 50 XP for the Player's Choice Award. All right. And with that said, I am the Just a King Zerat. You can catch me here on Monday nights for Freewheel Station. Having I'm having a lot of I had a lot of fun with doing tonight. I was really I love being able to bring in these sort of bigger pieces here and there and set some stuff up. Um, but we'll kind of you know, I'm looking forward to see how this pans out. I'm not currently on anything else on the channel at the moment. I'm thinking about something for Sundays, but you know, I still haven't put anything together. So, you know, stay tuned, I guess, ish. Hopefully it'll be a while before we give another big 2-week break. Hopefully we don't do that for a while. But with that said, I think that's all we've got for tonight. Let's bring out the dragon and get out of here.
Bring out the
Bring out
dragon.
the dragon!
Bring out the dragon.